TJ, man, just take me through it. Journey, start to finish. How'd you get the job done?
Yeah, so started off pretty strong, 2 techs and a pin, so definitely started off great. And as you know, the competition gets harder as you throughout the tournament. And definitely some things I want to work on when I get back. I wrestled solid and got the job done, but definitely could have did it in better fashion. Had a great time in Bulgaria. It's awesome to compete under the Penn State guys, and it was my first tournament doing that, so it's been really cool learning from them and just being a part of that.
So in the finals, I think it was 5-5 towards the end, and then you were up 5-1 and then get hit 5-5. What's the mindset there and what are you doing?
Yeah, so when there's I think it was a minute and 12 on the clock when I looked over. I know that's plenty of time to score, so I'm not stressing about that. And guys tend to wear as the match goes on, and I've always kind of thrived in that later end of the match. So I knew just keeping that pressure. That left jab coming back on the right was working pretty well. So I was sticking to that and just got the job done.
What are your feelings? Just being on top of the podium, national anthem, gold medal, and been on the podium, but now on the top.
Yeah. So one thing I never really thought about, obviously I've dreamed about winning a world title, and just that feeling you get when you're on the podium when they're playing the national anthem it's something unmatched and something I've never felt before. And it's just so cool to represent such an awesome country, and just have the people I have behind me, just the whole country, and more importantly, my family. And I know when they're behind me, Coach KD, the Penn State staff, I can do anything. So that moment, I'm kind of gonna always remember, and it's gonna stay in me for a long time.
Speaking of your sports staff, Coach KD, he was noticeably emotional afterwards. And I don't know if you've had talks yet about who's going to be in your corner for Senior Worlds, but does the thought cross your mind that could be the last time he's in your corner?
Yeah, for sure. And nothing but great things. He's such an amazing person, and he's a great coach, and he's been there every step of the way. So we share a lot of tough moments together, a lot of good moments together, and luckily this was a good one. So even if this is the last time, in my corner, it's going to be a strong way to end. And even though he'll possibly never be in my corner, I'm always going to, he's like a big brother to me, and he'll be a huge part of my life until I'm 80 years old. So I'm just thankful for him and all he's done. And we've just been through so much together, and to finally, get on top of that world podium is something else.
You're in a unique situation here because this is just your first World Championship this summer, and I assume the acclimation camp and everything. You've got a pretty quick turnaround probably before you come back overseas. What does your next couple weeks look like leading up to Croatia?
Yeah, so honestly, most of the work's been done, and I definitely have a few things I need to tweak, and those are pretty easy fixes. So besides the minor technical changes, my body's in good shape. I feel fine. I'm not too beat up from this. So just recovering is probably most important, and making sure I'm feeling good and ready for that tournament. So just making sure I'm feeling good, recovering. Just most of the work's already been done, to be honest.
The last couple of months have been really quite happening for you, being on the senior team now, winning here.
Yeah.
So how do you keep the momentum going for, say, 2 more months to World Championships?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's been a pretty rough, a lot of competing, like I said, those 4 tournaments back to back between U20 the Open and senior trials, all that stuff back to back. Definitely took a toll. It was definitely pretty hard, with the weight cut and just wrestling that much. And one thing I will say is I'm having so much fun doing it, and I've worked my whole life just to be in this position. So I'm not gonna let it affect me just because things get hard. I'm gonna always do my best, and I'm just so thankful to be in this position. So I'm not gonna let it go and waste it, So.
Just last question. The celebrations when you won the final legs were very different from when you won the world title today. So was it really like, okay, not the time to celebrate, but World Championships?
I think, Final X was just a little different for me, I would say I was definitely a way bigger underdog there, and it's just being on that senior team is that was my main goal. And coming from last year, after losing at U20s, I was kind of I'm getting this, I don't really care. And I just had to get that done, and I try not to show too much emotion, but sometimes a big deal like Final X, it comes out.
Does that moment, what did that do for you mentally? Final X, making the team. How does that make you feel here? How do you feel you've grown, I guess? Since
to be honest, being on the senior team, it's just crazy when I think about it, and it kind of adds a different level of pressure just being on that senior team. Guys expect you to perform at a higher level when you're a part of such a great group of people. And I'm not really letting that get to my head, but it's pretty crazy just to wrap my head around being on the senior team, and it's been, I don't know how long since I've been on it, and it's still like every time I think about it, it's just crazy to think about. So it's just a whole nother standard I try to hold myself to, just because being the guy representing that weight at Senior Worlds is kind of like I gotta make sure I'm doing things right, and for my people.
Did you feel like you had a target on your back here, being a returning world medalist and the guy who made the senior world team? And if so, do you like that feeling, or do you like being the underdog, like you said you thought you were at Final X?
Yeah, so I would say most of my life I've kind of had that target on my back because I've just been successful, and it's something I'm pretty used to. So to be honest, it doesn't really affect me too much. And being an underdog is nice, but I would rather be that top guy. Everyone coming after you. Hopefully one day my picture will be on someone's wall and they're chasing after me. That would be pretty sick. But yeah, I would definitely rather be the top dog and having people chase me. And I know a lot of people kind of get satisfied with that and they kind of stop working. But I'm gonna do my best to keep pushing and hopefully stay on top for a long time.
Just 3-4 years ago, you might not have been looking at 70 senior worlds. You're like, I don't know these guys.
Yeah.
You have to go deep study them and
Yeah.
So are you going through the list? Are you thinking about the senior worlds right now?
Yeah. Personally, I've never really been a guy to study too much, and I don't really have a game plan too much wrestling certain guys. I kind of just like to feel them out and have my coaches do that work and be like, hey, he's got a good lefty underhook or whatever. And I feel like I wrestle my best when I'm kind of not worried about stuff like that, and I'm just letting myself kind of fly.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, man.
Thank you guys.